I'm Dr. Christy, and this is Climbing Fish Parenting, practical parenting strategies in 20 minutes or less. I'm a psychologist and behavior analyst, and I work with exhausted, overwhelmed parents who feel like they've tried everything and nothing works. If you're listening to this while folding the laundry, hiding in your car, or wishing bedtime would just end already, you're in the right place. Today, we're talking about why your nervous system matters just as much as your child's, and why co-regulation actually starts with self-regulation. By the end of this episode, you'll understand what's happening in your body when your child is dysregulated, why just stay calm doesn't work, and what you actually need to do to regulate yourself so you can help regulate your child. Ready to transform your parenting journey? Let's dive in. I'm going to start with something that might sound counterintuitive. The best thing you can do for your dysregulated child is to take care of your own nervous system first. Not in a put your oxygen mask on first platitude kind of way, but in a very literal neurobiological way. Here's what's actually happening. When your child is dysregulated, melting down, having a tantrum, frozen in anxiety, spiraling in frustration, their nervous system is in a state of threat. Their brain has gone offline. They literally cannot access the parts of their brain responsible for reasoning, problem solving, or calming themselves down. And your job as the parent? You're supposed to be their external regulation system. You're supposed to lend them your calm nervous system so theirs can come back online. But here's the problem. You can't lend what you don't have. If your nervous system is also activated, if you're feeling frustrated, overwhelmed, anxious, or shut down, you're not actually providing co-regulation. You're providing two dysregulated nervous systems in the same space, which typically makes everything worse. This isn't about blame. This is about biology. Your child's nervous system is constantly scanning your nervous system for cues of safety or danger. And if you're activated, they feel that. Even if you're using your calm voice and saying the right words, if your body is communicating threat, your child's nervous system receives that signal. So let's talk about what's actually happening in your body, why the standard advice doesn't work, and what you need to do instead. Here's what most parenting advice misses. By the time your child is having a meltdown, your nervous system isn't starting from a neutral, well-regulated place. You're already depleted. You've already co-regulated through 3 transitions this morning. You've already made 70 decisions before breakfast. You've already absorbed your child's anxiety about school, frustration about homework, and overwhelm about getting dressed. Your stress hormone levels, your cortisol, is already elevated. Your nervous system is already in a state of low-level activation. And then your child has a meltdown about the wrong color bowl, and everyone acts like you should just calmly handle it. But you can't, because you're not starting from calm. You're starting from already depleted, already activated, already running on fumes. Here's what research shows. Chronic stress, the kind that parents of kids who are wired differently experience daily, actually changes your nervous system's baseline. Your threshold for activation gets lower. You go from calm to activated faster, and it takes longer to come back down. This isn't weakness. This is your nervous system adapting to chronic high-demand situations. It's actually trying to protect you by staying more alert, more ready to respond. But it also means you have less buffer before you hit your own dysregulation. So when parenting advice tells you to stay calm or be the calm in the storm, what they're actually asking you to do is override your body's automatic stress response while you're already in a depleted state. That's not a reasonable expectation. That's not even really possible most of the time. The fix? You can't just try harder to stay calm. You have to actually restore your nervous system's baseline so you have more capacity before you hit activation. Step 1. Understand your window of tolerance. There's this concept in trauma therapy called the window of tolerance. It's the zone where your nervous system is regulated enough to think clearly, respond flexibly, and handle stress without becoming overwhelmed. When you're inside your window of tolerance, you can co-regulate with your child. You can access empathy, patience, and problem solving. You can stay present even when things are hard. But when you're outside your window, either in hyperarousal, anxious, overwhelmed, reactive, or hypoarousal, shut down, numb, checked out, you can't do any of those things. Your brain literally doesn't have access to those capacities. And here's what's critical. When you're parenting a child who's wired differently, your window of tolerance gets narrower. The chronic stress, the constant co-regulation demands, the decision fatigue, all of it shrinks your window. So things that wouldn't have triggered you a year ago now push you outside your window. You lose your patience faster. You feel overwhelmed more easily. You shut down or snap when you wish you could stay present. That's not a character flaw. That's what happens to your nervous system under chronic stress. The fix? You need to actively work on widening your window of tolerance. And that doesn't happen in the moment of dysregulation. It happens in the moments between. What widens your window of tolerance? Things that signal safety to your nervous system. Deep breathing, specifically longer exhales than inhales, which activates your parasympathetic nervous system. Movement, walking, stretching, shaking out your body. Connection with people who feel safe. Time in nature. Anything that helps your body feel genuinely safe and regulated. And here's what's important. This isn't optional self-care. This is maintenance of the primary tool you need to parent your child effectively. Your regulated nervous system is the tool. If you don't maintain it, it doesn't work. Step 2. Notice your early warning signs. Most parents don't realize they're dysregulated until they're already yelling, crying, or completely shut down. But your body gives you warning signs long before that point. You just have to learn to notice them. Maybe your jaw gets tight. Maybe your shoulders creep up towards your ears. Maybe your breathing gets shallow. Maybe you feel heat rising in your chest. Maybe you feel a sense of urgency or pressure. Maybe you start moving faster, talking faster, thinking faster. These are your early warning signs that you're moving toward the edge of your window of tolerance. And if you can catch yourself at this stage before you're fully dysregulated, you have a much better chance of doing something about it. The fix? Start paying attention to your body throughout the day. Not just during the meltdowns, but all the time. What does your body feel like when you're regulated? What changes when you start to feel stressed? You can even do body scans, taking 30 seconds to just notice. How is my jaw, my shoulders, my breathing, my stomach? Where am I holding tension? The more familiar you become with your own patterns, the earlier you can catch yourself moving toward dysregulation. And the earlier you catch it, the easier it is to intervene. Step 3. Create micro moments of regulation throughout the day. Here's what doesn't work. Waiting until you're completely depleted, then trying to fill your cup with a bubble bath or a girls' night out once a month. Don't get me wrong. Those things are valuable, but they're not sufficient because your nervous system is getting depleted multiple times per day, every single day. You need regulation strategies that you can use in real time throughout the day in actual moments when you need them. I call these micro moments of regulation. They're tiny interventions, 30 seconds to 2 minutes, that help bring your nervous system back into your window of tolerance before you get fully dysregulated. What do micro moments look like? After you co-regulate your child through a meltdown, you step outside for 60 seconds and take 3 deep breaths. You feel the air on your face. You give your nervous system a moment to come back down. In the bathroom, you splash cold water on your face. Cold water activates your vagus nerve, which helps regulate your nervous system. You put your hand on your heart and take 3 slow breaths, saying to yourself, I'm safe. This is hard, but I'm okay. You do a quick body scan and notice where you're holding tension. Then consciously relax those muscles. You shake out your hands and arms for 10 seconds. Physical movement helps discharge stress. You text a friend who gets it. Hard morning. Just need someone to know. You're not looking for advice or a long conversation, just connection. None of these take significant time. None of them require you to leave your house or arrange childcare, but they give your nervous system repeated signals of safety throughout the day, which helps keep you inside your window of tolerance. Pick 2 to 3 micro-regulation strategies that feel doable for you. Practice them even when you're not dysregulated, so they become automatic. Then start using them throughout your day. especially after co-regulation moments with your child. Step 4. Repair when you do get dysregulated. Here's something I need you to hear. You will get dysregulated. You will lose your patience. You will yell. You will shut down. You will handle a situation in a way that you wish you hadn't. That's not failure. That's being human with a nervous system that's under chronic stress. What matters is what you do next. Research on parent-child relationships shows that what builds secure attachment isn't perfect parenting. It's repair. It's coming back after a rupture and reconnecting. It's modeling for your child that we all make mistakes and we can acknowledge them and move forward. So when you do get dysregulated, and you will, here's what repair looks like. First, regulate yourself. You can't repair effectively if you're still activated. Take a few minutes, breathe, get your own nervous system back online. Then go back to your child with genuine ownership. I yelled at you earlier, and that wasn't okay. I was feeling really overwhelmed, and I didn't handle it well. I'm sorry. Notice what's not in there. Blaming your child for your reaction. I'm sorry I yelled, but you were really pushing my buttons. Isn't repair. It's justification. You're modeling that adults have feelings and make mistakes, and that we take responsibility for our behavior, regardless of what triggered it. Then, if appropriate, you can talk about what you'll try to do differently next time. Next time I feel that overwhelmed, I'm going to try to take a break before I respond. Your child doesn't need you to be perfectly regulated all the time. They need you to model what it looks like to be human, make mistakes, and repair relationships. That's actually a much more valuable lesson than perfect calm. Make repair a regular practice. Don't let ruptures sit unaddressed. Come back, acknowledge what happened, and reconnect. Your child's nervous system needs to know that connection is still safe, even after conflict. Step 5. Get support for your own nervous system. Here's the final piece, and it's one that parents often resist. You might need professional support for your own nervous system. If you're experiencing chronic stress, anxiety, overwhelm, or burnout, which most parents of kids who are wired differently are, your nervous system needs more than micro moments of regulation. It needs actual therapeutic intervention. That might look like therapy for yourself. Specifically, approaches like EMDR, somatic therapy, or polyvagal informed therapy that work directly with your nervous system, not just your thoughts. It might look like working with a therapist or a coach who understands caregiver burnout and can help you build sustainable strategies. It might look like medication if you're dealing with anxiety or depression that's impacting your capacity to regulate. There's often shame around this, the feeling that you should be able to handle it, that needing support means you're failing. But here's the reality. You're trying to provide constant co-regulation to a child whose brain needs exponentially more support than typical, while receiving minimal support yourself in a culture that doesn't adequately value or support caregivers. The fact that you're struggling isn't a personal failure. It's a predictable outcome of an unsustainable situation. Getting support for yourself isn't selfish. It's maintenance of the primary tool your child needs from you, a regulated adult who can help them regulate. If you're constantly outside your window of tolerance, if you're always on edge, always overwhelmed, always either anxious or shut down, that's a sign you need more support than you can provide yourself. Start looking into therapy options, support groups, or coaching. Your nervous system matters. Let me bring this all together. Co-regulation isn't about perfectly calm parenting. It's not about never getting frustrated or overwhelmed. It's about having a nervous system that's regulated enough, often enough, that you can help your child's nervous system come back online when they're dysregulated. And the only way to do that sustainably, for years, not just weeks, is to prioritize your own nervous system regulation, not as a luxury, not as optional self-care, but as the fundamental requirement for the type of parenting your child needs. Your child's brain is wired differently. They need more co-regulation than kids whose brains work typically, which means you need more nervous system support than parents whose kids need less co-regulation. That's not weakness, that's math. When you take care of your own nervous system, when you widen your window of tolerance, notice your early warning signs, create micro moments of regulation, repair when you get dysregulated, and get support when you need it, you're not being selfish. You're building the capacity to show up for your child in the way they actually need. Your nervous system is the tool. Maintain it. All right, that's it for today. Remember, co-regulation starts with self-regulation. You can't lend your child a calm nervous system if yours is depleted. The fix isn't trying harder to stay calm. It's actively restoring your nervous system throughout the day so you have capacity when your child needs you. Understand your window of tolerance. Notice your early warning signs. Create micro moments of regulation. Repair when you get dysregulated. And get support for your own nervous system when you need it. If this was helpful, hit subscribe so next week's episode shows up automatically. And head to my website at www.climbingfishparenting.com to sign up for my newsletter. This week's swim strategy, the exclusive research-backed technique only found in the newsletter, is a specific regulation technique that works in under 60 seconds. I didn't cover it in the podcast, but you can use it immediately the next time you feel yourself moving towards dysregulation. That strategy I just gave you, it's the whole climbing fish philosophy in action. There's a quote, "Everybody's a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing it's stupid." Your kid isn't broken. Your parenting isn't broken. Sometimes we're just asking our fish to climb trees. That's what we fix here. I'm Dr. Christy, and I'll see you next week.